Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Prop Talk, the official podcast of the Property Masters Guild. I am your host today, Mikey Trudel, and joining me, filling in for Chris as co-host, we have returning to the show, Robbie Duncan.
Hello.
How's it going, brother?
Good. How are you?
Good. Trying to stay busy. You're working, right? We're working.
Say yes to everything.
Yeah. I just finished. I'll bring our guest right in, too. We were just discussing it before we started rolling. I guess he's been doing this for about 41 years. Is that what we said? Something like that.
All right. Yes.
41 year. Yeah, prop master. So he's got some experience under his belt. We got Rob Kyker here. How's it going, Rob?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yes, 2 Robs in the building.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know we can light this place on fire.
That's right.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, you got just a line of credits. You've been doing a ton of movies and television shows, and episodics kind of looked like jumped right into episodics once like the big episodic boom started, which is great. Did you say you were like third generation props?
Yeah.
Or
fourth? My daughter's fourth generation. My great uncle started the drapery department at Universal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he was a Gazzelli, Gus Gazzelli, Gino, and then his son Gino Gazzelli. They've been set dressers forever.
Really?
And and then my dad was a prop guy. My older brother is a prop master, and myself, and now my daughter. Well,
Really?
she's not a prop master; she's a prop assistant. But we're all prop guys.
Do you think does she want to take the prop master reins at some point, or no interest?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
She really enjoys second units. She likes being on set. And I don't know. I would never say never. I would imagine if she did prop master a really low budget independent horror film like during one of the shutdowns, and she loved it. But I don't know.
Cool.
You have to have her on one day and ask her.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I feel like everyone has to do that low budget horror indie movie that makes you question all the reality of props, and then you get through it, and you kind of, you either decide you want to do it, or you're like, I like being the assistant.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is.
Yeah. You pull out all the stops of the stuff because you're usually manufacturing stuff yourself on those.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have money for it. You usually don't have an assistant.
You're doing the blood gags most of the time when we're used to having these wonderful effects departments. You kind of get your hands a little dirty.
I remember being on this movie called Born to Race, and it was the first movie I ever did. And one of the things I vividly recalled being asked to do and doing happily was they put me in the back of a stock car with one of those old Knoll foggers that you have to pump and it's hot to make smoke coming. And I'm rolling around in Charlotte Motor Speedway in the back of a stock car making it with this. That's non-union love right there.
That sounds fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Was that like, how fast was the car going?
Probably only 60 miles an hour, but it is.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
It was still awesome. Yeah, those banks are insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So did you was it ever a question of whether you were going to get into props, or did you want to do something else initially?
Oh, man, I can tell the story real quick. I was a total screw up in high school. I got kicked out of high school about 3 weeks after I turned 18.
Oh,
and for writing my own notes. And so
for writing your own notes.
Yeah, I got a GED, and my mom kicked me out of the house. She's like, "You're out." So I called my dad. I'm like, "Hey, I got nowhere to live. I got nothing to do." And the next thing you know, I was on the men's club.
Oh, really?
So it was kind of decided for me.
Was your dad prop master?
He was a prop master. Yeah. That's a whole different podcast, though.
So you're like, I got kicked out. He's like, well, I'm putting you to work.
Guess what? Come on in.
It was awesome. He had this house on, or an apartment on PCH and Coastline, like right on the ocean.
No way.
This was back in the early 80s where there was a lot of drugs being had.
Were you a surfer?
No, I was a drug addict. But it was a great time to be in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And that was it. I just kind of got thrown into the fire. But I mean, not to toot my own horn or whatever, but I was good at it from the very start. I mean, I loved it. I just have that brain, the fix, come up with a fixed brain. And I had it, and I just fell in love, and I knew I would never do another job.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
Yeah. I call it the ADHD brain.
Yes,
That's funny. Because I was like, it is. It's like, oh, what do you like about the job? I was like, I like that I'm not doing one thing for too long. Like, I like you could sit at the desk for a little bit, and then you're running to set and talking to the people and moving stuff around. Then you're working with your hands, and you're building something over here. Like, you're always doing something different throughout the day.
I've said that for years. One of the things I love about the job is I've never done the same thing twice.
Yeah.
You know, every day is different. Even if you're on the same location for 5 days, this is the most important thing in the world for 5 minutes, and then it's discarded, and we're on to something else.
It is.
I just love that. It's just part of it.
Yeah, you work on something for months, and then it's, okay, we shot it, we're done with it.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
And it's funny, too, because, like, it's been slow for the couple of years, and I'm out in LA right now just day playing and working, and I was doing guns on this show the other day, and I got off the show. I got chills thinking about it. It's like after 40 years, I just love being on a film set.
Yeah.
I don't care what I'm doing. I just absolutely love it. I still love it. So that's something.
Yeah, I do too. So I like to give the Hollywood CPR tours, and I forget who I was talking to the other day. Like, oh, you know what? Here's what it reminded me of. Somebody, like, the locations guy's son, like, got out of school early, and he had to bring him to set, and he's like, oh, he was most excited to see the prop truck. And I was like, come on. Let's go. Absolutely. It's like coming and showing him and opening cabinets, like, here's a brick. Put it in the head with it.
They're like, what?
Yeah, and they're like, go with it. And then the next day, like, he's like, his favorite part was that all I could hear about is him talking about. I was like, man, seeing that light up, it's like, okay, that reminds me of why I got into this.
It's everybody's favorite truck.
Totally.
I mean, even back in the day when I first started, my dad's truck, he had a candy drawer, he had a cigarette drawer, he had a drug drawer. Everybody came on the truck. Like, if the AD was out of cigarettes, hey, bring the AD some cigarettes. And that's just the way it was. But my point about that is like every director, every actor, their kid came to set. They wanted to walk around and dig in the girls wanted to go through the jewelry drawer. The kids wanted to go through, boys wanted to go through the money drawer, and it's just cool.
Oh, definitely.
It is. So then growing up then, before you actually worked on set, were you brought onto set by your dad a lot, and you got to see a lot, so you had an idea of what...
Yeah, one of my first pictures, and I don't still have it, I wish I did, is me sitting on the steps wherever we shot it with the original 3 Charlie's Angels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. My dad was like on Charlie's Angels, $6 Million Man, a bunch of that, like, what was his name? Stephen Cannell stuff. So yes, the answer is yes. I was a little kid actor on this movie called When Every Day Was the 4th of July, me and my brother, and we rode around in the back of this rumble seat of this car. I don't think I've ever even seen the movie.
Oh, really?
But yeah, so yes, I've been on film since I was...
So did your parents, like, put you into acting and stuff like that, try to get you in?
No. I don't know why that happened. I don't remember the whole... I just remember it happened. My parents were divorced, like, really early on, so there were my parents did anything.
Yeah.
But no, all of my acting stuff has just been on the set, and directors like, oh my God, I love your face. You have to be. Randall Kleisner did that on White Fang. I was a young prop guy. Started off as an assistant on that movie, and then they bumped my dad up to a producer. So they're like, all right, you're the prop master now. So like 21 years old.
When does that ever happen?
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, can I tell the story?
Yeah.
So we're doing White Fang, and my dad's the prop master, and I'm the assistant prop master, and we're going to go up to Alaska. We're going to shoot 3 months in the winter, and then we're going to shoot 3 months in the summer. There's going to be a little break in between. So we go up in the winter and we do our thing. And my dad's kind of, he's pretty hands-on at this point. And what they hadn't realized is that it's Haines, Alaska, is this fishing community. So about halfway through the winter portion, production realizes they don't have any accommodations for us for the summer because the entire town's sold out. So what they do is they tell my dad, fix it. So he goes and he finds, like, I don't know what the number is, 35, 40 motorhomes. And he builds Kykerville. He builds this trailer park with all these motorhomes. And we had 2 sea containers turned into laundry facilities. And that's where we stayed. I don't remember why I was telling this story. So Randall's like, one day we're in the elevator and he's like, oh my God, I just love your face. You have to be in my movie. So I ended up being Frozen Prospector #1. and to this day, I still get like 19-cent residual checks from White Fang. Oh yeah.
Amazing.
No way.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because you looked like a prospector.
He just loved my face. He just wanted me to be in this movie. And the same has happened. John Landis made me a bartender in Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Awesome.
And I did this really insane like a 4.5 page walk and talk on a TV series that we were shooting in Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah, that was like real acting. That
I
one
know.
scared me.
Yeah, that would
and then the
scare me
show got canceled. And I don't know if that scene ever aired, but it was super cool. I played a pot farmer.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. Typecasting.
So props. Yeah, what is it? Prospectors and drug addicts.
And
You got it.
You'll love this. Since you're a Lost fan, go look. The very first time you see Jacob, it's this creepy guy in a with gray, creepy, in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
That's me.
Really? You're
Yeah.
lost?
I'm the first Jacob. And not only that, but they made a playing card of me. There's like an official playing card of Jacob, and it's
I'm
me.
gonna find this.
That's pretty cool.
I'm finding this.
I have one.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so
So,
cool.
I mean, and truth be told, I love it. I love acting. And probably what I'll do in retirement, I'll probably just like go back to Atlanta and just take little bit parts and just.
That's
make
what
a
I was
little
going to
money
ask.
again.
Yeah. Is there a like avenue for you with this?
I don't know. I don't know. It just
Love
seems
that.
like something fun to do in retirement,
Yeah.
you know, just go out and
Yeah.
bit play or, you know, who knows. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
I like it because it scares me. You know, I've been on
Yeah.
film sets for so long. Nothing really scares me too
Yeah.
much. I mean, I get excited, but acting scares
But when
the
you get
shit
put
out
on
of
the
me.
spot, then
yeah,
it's
yeah,
going to be...
You gotta remember
yeah.
lines and hit your mark and engage. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's scary. It's cool. I dig it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because we figured out not to hold production up there, but that's what I think about with acting. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh man, if they're put it on and I can't get what the director wants.
I stay
like,
behind the camera, Mikey.
yeah, no.
I'm a behind the camera guy. I don't want to ever act.
And you've seen an actor like lose their confidence on set, and you can't
Oh,
help
definitely.
but feel for him. Like, God, you got to fucking pull it together, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my dad in the last show we just did when we were shooting in Boston because my family's out there. My
Yeah.
dad, they were looking for a basketball coach. My dad's been for like a middle school team for tryouts, and I was like, well, my dad's been doing middle school or elementary school basketball for 25 years, and they're
Yeah.
like, the director's like, I want that guy, and I was like, okay,
That guy?
He's a
I
feature,
know.
He's a featured background. When my dad came up, he's like, I thought they're telling me I might have lines. I was like, you don't have lines. Trust. He was scared as hell, and then he's like, no one's telling me to do anything. What do I do? I was like, that's great.
He's
No
freaking
one's
out.
telling you to do
That's
anything.
great.
You're doing it perfect.
I was like, that's great.
Don't change a thing.
Yeah.
It was so funny though. Interesting. So then the first time you actually went to do props, then you were sold. You were like, this is it. I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, I mean, yes to props and to the film industry in general. I mean, it was just like being a carny.
Yeah.
You know, I could dress the way I wanted to dress. I could look the way I wanted to look. Back early on, I mean, people were really out there doing a lot of crazy shit, and you know, still showing up, making it happen.
Yeah.
So it was right up my alley.
Yeah.
I mean, not that this matters now, but 30 years sober. So at some point, it was like, that's enough of that. When my first daughter was born, and my dad also ended up getting sober. He got sober like 8 years before I did. So
Oh, really?
yeah, he finished his career clean and sober, which was nice. And it's been a pretty good ride for me.
So he pretty much cleaned up shortly after you started working for him then.
Yeah, he fired me. I was on.
That'll help.
Okay, so here's a quick story. I was still his assistant at the time, and we were doing a movie called First Kid in Washington D.C. And we had just had our first baby, and I got so hammered I couldn't work. I was like sleep. We were doing this insane big, 40 news crews, a mall full of people, Secret Service, motorcade, the whole 9 yards, and I just wasn't up for it. And he's like, "You're out. You're fired." So I had to drive. We had to go from like Washington back to wherever we were staying and tell my wife I just lost the only job I had.
My dad fired me.
Fired me. Yeah, it's the only time I've ever been fired. And he hired me back the next day, but that's also the day I got sober.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is it the last time you drank?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, and it's pretty cool too, because now that daughter is 31 and or 32. God, I hope I get that right. She's a prop person now, and my youngest daughter is 24, and neither one of them have ever seen me drunk.
That's awesome.
Yeah, coming from where I came from,
Yeah.
that's a big step up.
Yeah. That's helpful.
I always hear about those old stories from my first mentor. It was Jonathan Hodges. And he told me that when they were on Pulp Fiction, that he turns in the budget. All of a sudden, there's an extra line for $40,000. And he's like, what's that? He's like, that's the drug line. He goes, the guy's going to come, give you the drugs, you keep it on the truck, and that's where it stayed,
Really?
And that was kind of the nature of, like, I guess how it was back in the day. You talk,
That's
the
funny because
drawer.
Pulp Fiction doesn't seem that old to me.
I think
93?
yeah.
93.
So
it
that
was still
that
happening.
may have been the tail end of,
it might have been.
the crazy days, you know.
Well, it's also a Tarantino set. Too.
Yes, exactly. Which,
I would
different
love to work
beast.
with that guy. I would even to this day.
Oh, yeah,
I
he's a
just
great
think
director.
that I would be a great prop master for
Yeah.
him. Like a guy's guy, no bullshit.
100%.
Yell at me if you need to. I can
Yeah.
take it.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see if Chris makes it allowed. He keeps talking about retiring, but who knows if he'll retire.
Who's doing it? Chris Call?
Chris Call he's the first call for it, but then like, he was the first call for it when they were going to do the last movie and then canceled it. Then he was called again when they had a revised script, and then he pushed it and canceled that too.
Yep.
And then it went to James Eddy because Quentin decided not to direct it. Fincher directed it, so James Eddy's Fincher's guy.
Right on.
Yeah, so that's basically but Quentin Tarantino famously has one more movie left in him because he wants to go out with 10. He wants that to be his discography.
Well, I hope that is Chris's movie because, I mean, it's all, that's the way it should be if that's his guy.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Exactly.
We'll see.
Chris is telling me the other day that he's got this thing with, what's the show he's on?
Tank Dennis.
Yeah. And he's thinking it'll run 5 seasons, and that'll be his kind of swan song out of here, you know? And it's like that moment where a lot
It's
of
the golf show, right?
No, that's what he's on right now.
Oh.
So he's on the golf show right now. That's why he's been so busy.
Yeah.
That's the now. He was on the golf show, and that I think is about to wrap, and then he's about to go over to
Straight in.
Yeah, straight into St. Dennis Medical.
Oh,
And that's what he did. The
TV life.
absolutely
The TV
have
life.
it. If I never do another medical show in my life, it'll
I'm
be too
okay
soon.
with that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like procedurals and cop shows. I don't care that much for.
Yeah.
I like episodics, but not those types.
God, I wish I could get into TV right now.
Yeah.
That's the one thing here in LA, you know, that's like pumping is if you got a good TV thing, you
It
can,
was, yeah.
you know, you can keep it working and keep it moving. You know, the feature thing is obviously shifting out. It's getting weird, moving places. So the TV guys, I'm like, hold on to
know.
that.
I came
hold
up-
on to that.
Yeah, I came up. I feel like it's what got hit the hardest here because I came up under episodic TV, also assisting, and I felt like it's like once I got into the union and started like flowing, and I did like 3 years on Teen Wolf, and then I went to another show. It was like constant, and once you were locked into a show, it was like, okay, we work 7 months, we'll go down for 2, and then we'll come back,
Yep.
and then another 7 months, go down for 2, and come back. It's like you didn't have to worry then.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to find that again for a while.
Yeah, I made that decision when my wife and I started having kids because I was on a feature track, but I wanted to be at the soccer games. I wanted to be at the volleyball games. So I made a conscious decision
Because the
to
features were out of town
out of
mostly.
town, yeah. And as a prop master on television, I mean, there's a lot of times where you've done all your meetings and you've done all the things you need to do, and you can make a 6 o'clock volleyball game.
Yep.
Totally.
And that's, I mean, again, I don't have any regrets. I was, you get on one show. For me, I got pretty actually, I didn't start off lucky. I was like the king of the do the pilot, get picked up and canceled. Like my first 5 years as a prop master, not one of my shows went past 9 episodes. Like if you look at IMDb, like the last, all of these really good ideas with really great director pilots, none of them went. And I was starting to get like don't hire Kyker because the show's not going to go. And then luckily, God, what was his name? Doug Madison Jr. was kind enough to recommend me to take his spot on Lost when he wanted
nice.
to leave, and so that just became 6 years,
Yeah.
and then I did a feature or so in between, and then I did Castle, and that became 6 years, and before you know it, my kids were grown up, so now. As they started going off to college, I was doing more. I would like to do like a Apple 10 episode thing, and then I would kick it. I wasn't, that was
totally.
like 10 episodes. I'm
Yeah.
good. I don't need to make as much as I used to.
Right.
And then the strike happened and everything went to shit.
Yeah.
So my idea was what I would hope to do would be like 1, maybe 2 features a year and just ride it out until I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But now, man, I'll take whatever. If
Yeah.
asked me to do a TV series tomorrow, I'd be, yep,
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
I'm
yeah.
in. I'll do a mayonnaise commercial.
It's true. I dipped into photo shoots a lot at the end of 2025 and, was lucky enough to get with this photographer who does Burberry, Dior,
Yeah.
all this really high, fashion stuff. But it was a total shift in, okay, wait a minute. I'm not getting the normal stuff. And the thing I said earlier, you got to say yes to everything at this point. And,
Man, it's so true.
I had Butch Kitchen on his first photo shoot last year, and Butch has done everything, but it was just this moment of him seeing we had a 7-year-old kid running a Fogger fan, because they're non-union and it's weird and we didn't have enough guys, but they pay well.
Yeah.
And there's a couple days in there that
I just did a commercial last week, and it was it's so weird to jump into something where like the designer has their hands so deep into like the prop world and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God.
you're just saying yes.
I was like, I'm not going to do anything. They're like, oh, sorry if it feels like I'm stepping to. I was like, this is a different world, so
Go
I'm not
for
going to,
it.
do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
The only thing about that I struggle with so much, and I don't know why. It's just like, I just don't want to go to Galpin and pick up my own coupon.
No.
I mean, I know that's part of the gig.
Yeah,
That's what you got to do. But
You're
something
right.
about it is just like, I don't want to drive.
Yeah.
I came back into town at the beginning of the year just to get hours to keep my insurance up. So the guys at the gun room at ISS have been really helpful. They've been throwing me out like day after day.
Oh, good.
And man, that's crazy, Jack.
Yeah.
Like that's a good gig. I just did this thing for 2 days with Airsofts. And it was so nice. It was so nice just to walk on set and just to have, this is what I'm responsible for and nothing else. No, so.
Especially when it's airsoft too. It's
Right?
like that level of like, okay, no one's gonna die here.
No one's going to die here.
Has most of the stuff you've been getting I know we're going all over the place, but that's okay.
You can cut it together.
It's a whole, yeah. Is most of the stuff that you've been going out for guns been airsoft? Or?
No, that was
okay.
I went out one time. I brought 15 guns to an ADR stage for a video game ADR, and I just shook the shit out of
No
guns.
way.
And loaded guns and rack guns, and I
That's
just made
sick.
gun noises. Oh my God, I was so sore. It's the hardest I've worked. I had bruises all. Oh, it was hysterical because Larry was telling me, he's like, "You're gonna be sore," and he's like, "You got to do all this, and you got to hold your breath." So I mean, I'm
my
learning new
gosh.
stuff to this day, and I'm so grateful because I was just sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's when I have absolutely nothing to do, I usually call Larry to go in there. It's like, let's do German guns today.
That's cool.
Yeah, just to rip some stuff apart and put it back together. Yeah. All right. So, really, when did you make the jump from assisting, I guess, to prop mastering? Was it fair? It looks fairly quick here.
Okay,
then, right?
so I was an assistant for my dad on the first season of 24.
Oh.
And then like the second, right at the beginning of the second season of 24, Brian Rogers called me and asked me if I wanted to be the second prop master on Profiler.
So that was your first.
Well, that's when I never went back.
Yeah.
Like I had been prop master on a ton of like movies of the week. I don't know if you
The
know what
ones we
movies
were
of the week
talking
are.
about, yeah.
Well, no, even so, there was a ton of I've never, just backing up, I've never done IMDb myself. Everything that's on there has been put on there by somebody else. So there's a ton of shit that's missing.
Oh, yeah.
But I did I was the prop master on these movies of the week, and they don't do them anymore. But basically, they were like 3-hour, movies, TV shows. So I did those for a while. But the answer to your question is, once Brian asked me to be the second prop master on Profiler, is that even on there?
Not that. What year was it?
Profiler? I don't know what year it was. But anyway, that's when I started. And then I went from there. I did Profiler.
Oh, yeah, it
and
is
then-
right here. 1998 to 1999. 7 episodes.
Yep. And then after that, like Susan's Plan, there's all of the Bella Mafia, Last Dawn, Killing Jar. I was the prop master on the Last Dawn. That bugs me so bad that as assistant prop master, because that was like a year-long project, the Last Dawn.
Yeah.
Look at the cast on that one. That was a good movie. So anyway, once I started Profiler, I never went back to being an assistant.
Just The Godfather.
TV.
Did you get a trailer fairly quick after that? Is that
Yeah, I had a really cool trailer. I built one from scratch.
Really?
From down in Beto, Beto, where everybody. And then I sold that trailer to Scott McGinnis. I think he still uses it to this day.
No way.
And then I bought my dad's trailer, which I think it's probably still the nicest trailer out there.
Nice.
It's gorgeous inside.
Is that what you still have?
Yeah, I still have it to this
Nice.
day.
My
Yeah.
friend Brandon Parker worked with you on Hunters, and he
Yeah.
was telling me that. He goes, Rob has such a nice trailer.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
How old is it? If it's
95. We built it in 95. But
Oh,
I've
okay.
taken really good care of it. And it's
When did your dad retire?
I don't know. I don't know the exact year.
Yeah, but probably not too late after that, right? Built.
I was
so he got,
doing-
he,
well,
so
I
he
was
got a
doing
brand
Lost.
new trailer, huh?
We built his trailer together in 95.
Yeah.
Like I helped him design it, and I've changed it a little bit
Yeah.
after. But I bought it from him when he retired, but I was still doing Lost. So I rented it to my brother for a few years, and he used it on Warner Brothers lot and rented it from me. I don't remember what he was doing, but then when I came back, the first time I actually used that trailer was on Castle.
Oh,
And I
nice.
did that for 6 years.
Nice.
Pirates is cool. Kevin Bacon and Kira
Kevin
Sidgwick.
Bacon, yeah.
And Kira.
And
I don't think I've seen that. Wow.
how was that?
Oh, I love them. I have pictures of them. I did another movie of the week with Kira right when their son was born. And I have pictures of them with their little boy. You guys know Mark Brown? Did you guys ever know Mark Brown? He was a great assistant for a while, but I think he's not an assistant anymore. But he had made this little guitar out of tape. It was like a tape electric
cool.
guitar. Anyway, I got great pictures.
Nice.
This was like
I need to watch
Kevin
that.
Bacon Prime, too.
Yes.
God, that was so much fun to make.
Yeah.
I want to know, what was it like working on Beverly Hills Cop 3? I did number 4, so I would love to hear some stories.
So John Landis was the director, and it was after the Twilight Zone, so he wasn't as famous as he once was, but he was still John.
Yeah.
And I was super, like, it was my first big time like director working with, and he just absolutely loved my dad. My dad could do no wrong.
Rad.
So when my dad actually ended up leaving that show early to start another show, then I became the prop master.
Awesome.
And it was cool. He was a screamer. He was my first big screamer director. And the only one time it ever happened, it came to me, and this is how old I am. So this was right when AR coding became a thing. It was like
Oh, really?
cutting edge AR coding. And back then it was like, if you picked a pair of glasses that you needed AR coding, like you sent them out, and it was 3 or 4 days if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So we're doing this thing on stage with all this green screen, and Eddie's jumping, and he's like, we need some AR. Mac Alberg was the DP. He's like, we need some AR coded for this. I'm like, okay, John, I'll get you AR coded. It's going to take a couple days. He's like, not taking a fucking couple days. It's Friday and they'll be here.
Oh, jeez.
And he called my dad, like on the movie he was on.
Oh,
and
God.
I thought I was getting fired.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Of course.
And it was the first time I watched what like that kind of power could do.
Yeah.
Because my dad made a fucking couple phone calls, and that lab was open overnight, and we had AR coded glasses on the set the next day. And that was like a real lesson to me. It's like, this is what money and power can do.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And so like it changed the way but the answer, whoever asked me, I loved working with John.
Yeah.
In fact, after that, we did, he did this other movie. God, I wish I could think of the name of it, but it was this low budget. He wrote it, directed it. It was Nastasia Kinski, Dan Aykroyd, Yaphet Kotto. John cast my dad as one of the leads. He played a uniformed cop, and like Adam Sandler was around, and anyway. Love John.
Yeah.
And he's been a family friend forever.
Awesome.
I ran into him at Bob's Big Boy 20 years later, and the first thing he said to me is, "How's your dad?"
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
I have another funny story. Now you can't shut me up. We did a pilot with oh Jesus, excuse me. Who's the guy that George Clooney. We did a pilot with George Clooney many years ago, before ER, before anything. And my dad was the prop master. So 40 years goes by, or 35 years goes by, and I'm on. I was brought in to take over the pilot of ER. So I did the last 9 days of the pilot of ER as a prop master. So that's the only time I'd ever met George. I met him on the pilot of ER, and I met him on this, and this pilot that never got picked up. And I saw him like 25, 30 years later when he was doing something. He was in a German. I literally ran into him in the parking lot, and he looked at me. I was like, I don't know if you're gonna remember me, but he's like, Rob, how's your dad? Like, he had only worked with him one time, like before he was even whoever he was, and that's the kind of impression my dad made on people. Like, you either loved him or you were a UPM and you hated him.
I know you had said that that you liked. You basically took a bunch of you wanted to do TV to kind of stay in town, and then the one show that you got that ended up being so long is Lost. You said,
Yeah.
Isn't that in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we moved there.
You moved there.
I mean, on their dime, but the minute I went, I knew that show had legs. So it just happened to be during the summer. We brought, the girls to Hawaii, found schools for them. Yep. And I had already done a show there. We, as a family, had already been there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go anywhere without them. It was my kids, my wife were always going to be more important than my career. I was just going to, because that was what really jacked me up as a kid.
Yeah.
What did your wife do?
Nothing. I mean, she did everything. She took care of the family. She took care of the finances. She held the fort. She was my better half. Still to this day.
This is a strange question, but is your wife and kids in your deal? Like when you go and get a job.
That's a good question.
When you go and get a job, do you put that in the deal that like, hey, I need a flight for the family to get them out here? That's not something
I've never had that kind of clout. I mean, Jack Bender might have, but the answer is no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because I know production designers will get that. I know costume designers will get that. And I just wondered, like, as we rank up, is that something that we should be...
I have heard of people that have gotten their kids, like, into the schooling, production schooling. Like, if there's kids and stuff on the thing, they'll throw the kids in it. Or depending on where they're going, or if it's a show that's, like, traveling in multiple locations. I've heard of that. But I've never tried to put my family in that, but I have over the years as I got more, known. I would definitely be like, listen, I don't care if we're in this country or out. I would get the same accommodations as the DP.
Totally.
I'm flying the same place. I'm staying in the same hotel. I'm, whatever you're giving the DP, be ready. That's what I'm going to ask for.
Yeah, they always want to give us that side hotel that like
right?
everyone else is not staying at.
The DP's flying business class because it's not in the United States, or it's in the United States, so you're going to fly coach.
It's like, no,
I don't think I am.
Yeah.
So,
but
nowadays that's probably out the window because I feel like I'll fly in the luggage.
As long as I got the job.
Yeah, if there was more jobs to pick from. I always found it so weird when the second like when you walk through first class and you see like, the people that are sitting there, you're like, what the hell? And then you're like, all right, I needed to make a better deal as you're walking to the back. And
it seems like if you word it that way, it's really hard for them to say no. It's like, I don't want anything more than anybody else is getting, but I certainly don't want to be treated less.
No, totally. That's what it is. That's the moment you feel like you're being treated less so much. It's like...
I've been able to bump up because I usually will travel with Biggie. And so, like, I can convince the producers to give me that, like, $250 bump because I have my dog with me and all that kind of stuff. So I've used that one, having the dog to get me into business class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it worked.
That's perfect.
My wife, I should take that back too. There was a while when we lived here where my wife was doing food styling, and she did some really, and only because, or I shouldn't say only because she was talented, but like I was friends with Drew Bertrada and Tommy Day and Jeff Angelo and all these other prop guys, and we were hanging out at my house or somebody's house, or just for a season. But during that time of our lives, like Tommy was doing X-Files.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, we need something that looks like brains on a skillet. And Melody's like, I got it. Yeah. So she did like really cool food styling for the X-Files. And do you remember Jerry Moss?
Yeah.
Jerry Moss and Drew were doing Galaxy Quest, and they needed some really weird food that people could actually eat. My wife made all of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Rad.
Yeah. So she did do some food styling, and when we were in Hawaii, she did a couple commercials, but she was really like the anchor of our life, and that was a full-time job, is to this day.
Yeah.
Totally.
Then you knew when you were going out there, this like, what season was it, I guess I should ask?
I started in season 2.
You started in season, so you knew this show ain't going nowhere for a while.
It was a huge phenomenon. It was a huge success. It's funny too, because the show that I was doing, I got hired to do a pilot that was going to get picked up for this show called Hawaii. It was a cop show. And we were in Hawaii when they're shooting the pilot of Lost. And they're going to put these two shows up against each other. Mm-hmm. And we knew on our show that we were dead because the pilot was already getting so much buzz. Yeah. So I was actually in Hawaii. Like Doug Madison came to my truck one time when we were both doing pilots. He's like, Bender hates everything I'm showing him. Do you have any rubber knives on your truck?
Really?
Jack Bender was a friend of mine already at that point, but I had never had any conversations with Jack. So I knew that Doug was really, because Jack can be Jack can be really difficult to work for.
Totally.
So, and I have ended up becoming his prop guy ever since then.
Yeah.
Except now that he's in Canada for the last 3 years.
That's what's happening.
That's what's happening. Yeah. So then you just like you moved out there. You moved your family out. And how long did a season usually run? Did it run the whole year? Or?
It was about 8 months for me.
8 months.
A little longer than 8 months with prep and wrap. As the prop master, and they would just leave all my stuff there. So we had like this idle deal where my kit was getting paid. So 1 year we would travel as a family. 1 year I went and did a pilot in Detroit with Jack. Usually I would take 1 year off And that would be the only thing we would do, and we would just vacation and hang out in Hawaii. Or I'd go do a pilot. I did a pilot in New York City one year. They brought my trailer to New York City because Jack wanted me.
Wow.
Can you believe that? You know what that's involved with that, right?
It's so
it's
hard.
It's like a 1-for-1 prop master.
Dude.
Prop master, trailer, kit rental, everything.
Oh, yeah.
They brought me and my trailer out to New York City for a pilot.
Yeah.
And it didn't even get picked up.
Oh no.
That was awesome, though.
Anytime you can breach New York, I'm always happy. You know, like I worked in Philly for a couple years, and that like I got close. It's 52 region B.
Yeah.
But man, like the amount of matches, because we brought 6 people out. So there's matching everyone on our crew. So
Not only that, but transportation captain.
Yeah.
Like they brought my trailer out, like not like we do it these days with a what do you call that? Like a transport company. They brought a $3.99 guy out, so they had to match. They had to pay him as a captain
Whoa.
and hire a captain.
Right.
So it was a big deal.
Is that what you ran into when you were in Boston? Is it like a big match thing out there?
No. Boston doesn't have the match thing. I had to match in Chicago when we went to Chicago.
Yeah.
Shout out to Colin Bach, one of the best prop guys out there, if I do say so myself. but yeah, I had to have a match there. I didn't have to have a match in Philly actually. Did you?
Oh yeah,
You did.
yeah. They probably
was there
kept you
so
under the
quick
radar.
though.
then,
They probably kept me under the radar.
Some of those shows, I guess, it would probably be more likely if you're doing part of it here and part of it there,
Yeah.
where this was just a straight up
Yeah.
12-day pilot in New York City.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Interesting.
awesome.
And I stayed at the Soho Grand. Have you ever stayed at the? Because Jack was staying
Yeah,
there.
they got you to living large.
I stayed next to Jack Bender.
Yeah.
That was how it was when I got taken out to London for a Top Gun unit.
Yeah.
And they set me up in this area that, like, I was telling people where I was living. They're like, nobody lives there? I like come out of the door. There's like a Ferrari dealership, Lamborghini, a Nobu sushi spot. All the locals are like, yeah, no one actually lives in that zone. You know? I was like, well, I do. This is great. I love living here.
Yeah.
Funny. I got one of those. I was a couple of years ago now, 2 years ago. I was doing nothing, and somebody was doing a movie in Las Vegas, and the prop person, they were gone 2 days in, fired the whole team. So they brought me out, and so the crew is low budget, is all get out, but the whole thing is shot in the wind. So I stayed in the wind for 8 weeks, and our production office was Steve Wynn's villa on the 18th green with the view of the dome, whatever that thing
Sphere.
is. So every night when the production office closed, I would just go down and hang out in my office, which was
cool.
Steve Wynn's villa.
so
out,
cool. That is
one of
I
those
love the
things
win. Yeah, where you're just like, I guess I live here now. I'm a ball.
I'm a ball.
I don't even like Las Vegas.
No,
and we were
the
averaging
win. It's the best.
14 miles a day walking.
14 miles.
That's what I was averaging,
Whoa.
and never left the property.
Really?
Yeah, that's pushing from like down and underneath to the whatever beautiful restaurant we're filming in, and then we're going to company move, which is basically a push underneath for 3 miles over here to this thing. Yeah, we were
All
averaging,
through like giant shopping malls.
No,
it looks
all
like,
underground.
huh?
You don't
All
push a cart.
underground.
You don't
No
push
way.
a cart through a lobby. In
No
the wind.
way.
No, it's all
Really?
underground.
So it's like all like blank tunnels, pretty much.
They're
and
not
stuff?
blank at all. They're bustling with busboys and room service, and it's a
Right.
whole community down there. We had the pass to eat with in all the restaurants underneath the.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that food.
That's
sucks.
how F1 was for us.
I
We
bet.
Yeah.
put on miles per day. Ask Chris this next time. We did so much walking across the strip here, there, on all the tunnels, all this stuff. It was just the inner workings that you don't really
That's kinda
get
cool.
are there.
Yeah.
And you have no idea. You don't even think about, I'm just going to walk across the street. And all of a sudden, across the street is like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy how big the streets are.
Yeah, they're massive.
That movie hasn't come out yet, but I think it's going to be good. It was with, it's called Easy's Waltz with Al Pacino and Vince Vaughn.
Oh, cool.
And Vince Vaughn plays a lounge singer.
Nice.
And he's great. He's great in the movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
that.
it. And that was
that was just shot.
yeah, we shot, well, not just, a couple of years ago now, 2 years ago. And Nick Pizzolatto, the guy from True Detective,
Okay.
the director and writer.
Yeah.
He was the director on that.
Nice.
I'm saying his name wrong,
Oh,
but
it'll probably be gritty, cool.
it's
has
really cool.
Vegas thing.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. No guns.
No guns.
No guns.
Alright.
We did a whole movie with no guns.
Wow.
It was a Vegas mobster movie. It was kind of cool. I hope it shows somewhere.
I commend you for being in Vegas for 2 months and staying sober.
I don't gamble either.
Oh,
I didn't spend a dime.
yeah. That's wow.
You know,
Vegas is tough. Have you worked there?
No, I actually have not worked there.
Yeah, it's a rough experience.
I've filmed in
'Cause
Vegas.
Everyone's just it's 24/7.
I haven't filmed there, but I've filmed in Biloxi, Mississippi, which is similar, not quite Vegas,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and New Orleans, I guess.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I love New Orleans.
Do you? Yeah. I absolutely hate New Orleans.
Really?
I love New
I can't
Orleans, too.
stand
For
it.
work or for
Either.
just both?
Either.
Yeah.
I don't like the vibe. I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable in Bourbon Street. I don't like
Oh,
The
yeah.
only thing I liked about New Orleans was the food and
love the food.
and
The
the
food's so
crew
good.
that we worked with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. If I never go back to New Orleans again,
Yeah.
it'll be too soon.
Yeah.
And we were there. We shot Rebel Ridge there.
I know. Yeah.
In the summer.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay, yeah, I know the summer.
It's
Brutal.
hot. Yeah.
It's sticky. I started working in this industry in Florida, so the humidity is no joke.
Yeah.
Butch keeps begging me for another New Orleans job. He's like, book it, Robbie. Come on, just get. He loves it.
Yeah, he
there.
loves it.
He loves it there. So it's just like,
Yeah,
oh.
him and Ron Licari. I
Yeah.
don't even want to know half the shit that they did. I really don't.
Butch
They
is
showed
sober
up.
too.
Yeah, no, they
you
showed
know?
up every day. Those guys are great. I really liked working with those guys.
Yeah.
I can't think of what I was going to say. Anyway.
You're gonna tell a story about them getting crazy, probably.
No,
We got to get cut out.
no. You know what? I'm so single focused and I'm not very social.
Yeah.
So I usually hear about my crew's stories years after the fact.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because I go home and I just disappear. I'm
Yeah.
not really that.
That's
Makes
good.
sense.
So let's get into Lost a little bit. Was this it was a difficult show? I'm assuming
No,
it wasn't.
no, I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, it was exactly what that's my, I guess it was difficult in the sense that, you're on a rock and, last minute things can be really challenging.
Yeah.
But if you ask the right
a lot
questions.
of a show that's also, I mean, it's kind of sci-fi too, and there's a lot of custom builds. You think?
Which is just one of my favorite stories about Lost is I don't remember if you remember Claire's Jungle Baby.
Yeah. Yes.
I made 2 of those in an afternoon, and basically Bender and Carlton was on the island at the time, and they came to me and they're like, "Hey, listen, we got this really creepy thing. It's going to come up in the next episode." And I walked around the soundstage. I mean, the lot. I don't remember what the studio, where we shot. We were on this little studio, and picked up sticks and rocks and twigs and all this shit, and then I went up into our gold room and I found these old skulls and furs, and I made those things.
Oh,
in
really?
my office that day.
Yeah.
And they were so insanely cool.
Yeah.
That one of them is still in Damon's office to this day.
Oh, really?
And one of them sold for like $12,000 when
No
they auctioned off all the
way.
shit. And
Wow.
a lot of the stuff we had this
All the
prop
Dharma Initiative stuff.
all that
I've
stuff was
seen.
all on
Yeah.
island. We made all that stuff just
Yeah.
like wing it. Just crazy. We had this sculptor that could make Jim Houghton. He sculpted this like the submarine, and most of those sets that you see were sculpted by him out of foam. Wow. This guy, he would make koa violins and koa cellos and koa pianos in his
No
spare
way.
time.
Was this like a Hawaiian blood guy?
No, not at all. This is like a film industry guy through and
Really?
through. Yeah.
That's cool.
So all these people were on staff that were just on the thing. So that
Unbelievable craftsmen on that show.
no way.
Yeah, and there were great stories, craziness, and it was awesome. I mean, I really, looking back, it will probably always be the highlight of my career.
What size team were you running on there as far as props department went?
I had myself as the prop master, no buyer, no office assistants whatsoever.
Really?
It's Stevie G. Steve Garino was my set prop master, Don Bracken, and Walter Jennings Fowler. And that was it,
Really?
except for busy days.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we did everything.
You're doing all the shopping,
All,
coordinating,
no,
meetings, all that kind of stuff.
for the longest time, I was probably the last holdout. It's like, I don't want a buyer. That's what I get paid for.
Yeah.
Now I don't necessarily subscribe to that because I've been a buyer for people, and I've still never hired a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate the people that use them because they do serve a purpose and they free you up. But it's not for me. I'm the buyer. If
Totally.
anything, I would rather send an assistant to go pick up something that's already
Purchased.
done.
Yeah.
I don't want to send. Anyway, so
Yeah.
it was a very small crew. It was the 4 of us, four or 5 at the most.
Yeah. Was that hard, or you think it was all?
I just don't remember it being hard. I would never say it was hard
Yeah.
because I got caught surfing. Like I would go up, open up the set, make sure everything is good, and we were on the North Shore. And I had stopped somewhere and like catch a few waves on my way back to the office. On more than one occasion, a fucking scout van would pull in, and I'd be getting out of the water. So I mean, as long as you got your work done, and Jack and the director Stephen Williams was another one of the, like, Jack Bender was the executive on Island who directed every other episode, and then Stephen Williams was his other co-executive producer. I've never worked with him since. I wish I would, but they were just awesome, and props were so important.
Totally.
Yeah.
That I was involved in so early on, and I don't know if I still have it, but back in the day, I had like a really, almost like a photographic memory. So on that show, guns were important. Like we knew there was only 9 guns on this island, and I knew where every gun was the last time we saw it.
Yeah.
Who had this, who had that. So I became like, there was a script coordinator named Greg Nations who was really good at that also. But between Greg and I, we became like the fact-checking historians of the show. It's like, Rob, when's the last time Locke had his knife? Okay, well, it was about 3 episodes, and he dropped it, so he can't have it right now.
Yeah.
So I was so much more in my brain, and maybe if you asked other people, I was way more than a prop master on the project.
Yeah, especially a show like that where there's half the show is mindfuckery that gets brought into everything. So you kind of have to have a level on to see what a lot of this stuff does or where it came from or what it's doing.
There were some, now that we're talking about, there was a couple like really oh fuck moments though. I remember one time when late in the story, when Jacob and the devil, I can't remember who the devil character is now, but they were on a beach drinking wine out of a craft.
Right.
And then somebody was going to smash somebody with the craft, so it had to be breakaway. Yeah. So I had like 6 or 8 breakaways, and we go to shoot the scene, and they're like, okay, so just dig the sand down a little bit and put the breakaway in the sand. Well, if you put a breakaway on wet sand and for any more than 2 or 3 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'd never done that.
Yeah.
So we're out in the fucking, like, what are we going to do? I got to fix this. So I took one of the glass bottles to the University of Hawaii, to the glass blowing department. And I met the guy that ran the glass blowing department. I was like, I got 24 hours to make one of these that looks exactly like this, that isn't breakaway. He's like, I got you.
So you didn't have a non-breakaway version of it? No.
because the one the director picked was from Alfonso's.
It was from Alfonso.
So it's like, where are you going to find the fucking match to that?
Yeah.
So I had the guys at University of Hawaii blow it.
Really?
And it turned out magnificent.
Perfect.
And it was free. The guy loved to do it.
Yeah,
it was done in 24 hours.
Because they were happy to do something for a movie.
For
or
Lost.
Yeah.
And it was, it just, I mean, that kind of shit. How do you figure, who does that, right? I mean, that's a really good.
How did you know to go to the University of Hawaii?
Because that's how my brain works. Like, I'm going to have one of these things fucking blown.
I know, but I wouldn't have thought the university is going to be able to blow this for me. Like, you think we'd look for a glass blower, right? Like, what?
Well, it's a liberal arts college. I mean,
okay, fair.
Yeah, and that guy is still a friend of mine to this day because I don't know if it was the next season or whatever, but I was doing a scene with Steven was directing, and it was a ship in the bottle, and the guy, our guy Nevin, whatever, I can't think of his character, he was going to pull the sails up in the ship in the bottle. So I'm on early stages of Amazon right back then, 10 years ago, and I'm showing Steven all these ships in the bottle that I can get on island in 8 days. This is what I can get. He's like, it's got to be bigger. It's got to be bigger. It's got to be bigger. Same thing. I just said, fine. I went to now I know this guy at this point. I'm like, I need a bottle that's, I'm showing him a picture of a bottle this big. I was like, I need it this big, and I need to be able to cut the back out of it, put a ship in it, and glue it back together. And we did it.
Really?
We did it. He made 3 of them. Like first couple.
What was his turnaround on stuff like that?
He probably had 3 or 4 days, maybe even 5 days.
No way.
Yeah.
To do that.
And if you go back and look at the ship, because the whole thing is we're at Police Beach, and we have this ship in the bottle that we're framing on the horizon. So when the audience first sees it, they think they're looking at a real ship. So he's going to pull the string. The sails are going to come up. We're going to pan back and realize that we're looking at a ship in a bottle. So it has to be this big.
Yeah.
And anyway, if you watch the show, it's a beautiful fucking prop.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's cool.
Yeah,
So-
I can remember it vividly.
Oh, you do? You remember it?
I can. So, it did look like a beautiful prop. But that's a crazy story.
Yeah. So
You tried to do most of the manufacturing on island then.
I don't want to say most because I don't want to take away from all the people that did the work, did work for me. But a lot of it was like that. It was just like, we don't have enough time to go to SAT or wherever your normal channels are to do this. And so I love that. That's really, and then I went from that to the next big thing I did was Castle. And there was a lot of that on Castle too. There was a lot of really interesting, cool one-off props. But I had the whole, that was so easy because then I could just drive to SAT or I could drive to the
I was going to say, Castle was in town here?
Yeah, Sunset Gower. Yeah, Sunset Gower.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that helps.
That was a fun show too for props though.
Yeah, no, definitely. So that's what I'd say. It's like, was it, I guess when you're out of town and stuff like that, it almost makes you a little bit more resourceful because you're actually looking for the people that, like, you're going to people that this is their specialty. Whereas when you're here in town, you're going to go to like the shops that kind of do it all. So there's specialty there, but they're kind of a jack of all trades. Whereas there, it's like, okay, you're going to the glass blower. You're going to the person that they do this.
Yeah, like early on, I'm not sure if Gary, Doug Madison Jr. found him, or if I did. Now I can't remember. But we had an on-island graphics guy who was fantastic.
Yep.
Like he could print and design. Like I'm pretty sure, like the Dharma beer cans and most of the Dharma logo stuff was done on island by a guy named Gary Nakano, and he's still doing graphics for the guys in Hawaii to this day.
Nice.
Did you have to label all that stuff, or did he do it?
Yeah. No, it was a combination. There was a lot of times where
your truck.
Do you remember that? Do you remember?
Did you have a trailer out there? Or?
I did not have my trailer.
They didn't.
Out there.
I was gonna say they didn't ship your trailer.
I had my kit in an old Coca-Cola 40-footer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was literally Coca-Cola.
Sick.
What was I gonna say? Oh, do you remember the bomb that blew up the ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had worked on that for a week, 2 weeks. And I don't know if you saw the show, but it was basically a table a little bigger than this. It was just was a shit ton of C4 and wired together and a couple other bullshit things. And Carlton, that was for a finale. So Carlton and Damon came out. And the day we were going to shoot it, they walked the set and it's like, we want this to be twice this big. It was a big fucking bomb.
It was massive already.
And they're like, we want this twice as big. We got 6 hours.
So it was basically ended up being the size of this room almost.
They just want it stacked this much higher. So that days like that, there was, cut up as many 2x4s to make into C4 bricks, print up as many labels as to cover them. And we had 4 people from production. We had everybody in the prop department that was available. Everybody that was wrapping C4 bricks. And that's just the way that show kind of went. It's like when stuff like that happened, oh my God, we had this, a really funny story from Lost. You want a funny story from Lost?
Yes, I definitely do.
So we have this scene where Locke is going to come into the camp with a dead boar. He's killed a boar.
Right, yeah. Early, right? Yeah.
I was there, so it was after
early,
season 2. So I find this boar at Bischoff's, and I show Jack pictures, and I show everybody pictures, and everybody's on board. I get the boar on island. Everybody seems happy with the boar. It's nice and floppy, no big problem. We get on set. It's like Friday night at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And apparently, Steve had brought the boar to the set, and the on-island local greens guy goes, "Bruh, that doesn't look like a dead boar." And the director heard him. Jack heard him.
Damn it. Send you down Spiral City. You're like,
I get a phone call
cool.
from town, from the North Shore, from Bender himself. "Get out of here! This thing ain't fucking so. Peachy says this doesn't look right." Like, oh, you fucking kidding me? So I drive all the way out there, and that's a drive. I don't know if you've ever shot in Hawaii, but on Friday night to get to the North Shore from Waikiki is every bit of an hour.
Yeah.
So I get out there, I get the boar, I find some wire brushes, and I scrape the shit out of this thing, and I do all this stuff, and I find the greensman. I go, "Pinky, you're gonna walk up to fucking Bender with me right now, and you're gonna tell him that this looks way fucking better." He's like, "I got you, bro. I'm so sorry." So he did. I got the greens guy. And I walk up to Bender, and I throw it on the ground real violent. I'm like, now it looks great. Pinky, tell him. He's like, boss, that looks pretty good now. And that was it. But a fucking greens guy almost sunk me.
Yep.
Same
Yeah.
thing. Another story happened. We had gotten to, we were going to film, remember the polar bear in the cave?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing that, and me and Don Bracken are animatronicking this polar bear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was no animatronic.
No puppeteers
We're
or anything there?
puppeteering this bad boy.
Awesome.
So we go to another island. We go to the big island, I think, and the only two props in this whole thing are a Tonka truck, like an old school metal Tonka truck, and the bear.
Yeah.
So, and it's a half-mile hike into this location, and we get all the way into this location, and I'm standing there with the Tonka truck talking to Stephen Williams, the director, and the second AD, this guy Norm, walks up and goes, "Oh, brother, I thought the truck was going to be bigger." That's all the fucking director needed to hear.
Oh my God.
And I'm on the north shore of the Big Island.
Yeah, you're not getting anything
There's
bigger.
no
Or not
bigger Tonka truck.
No.
This is it, guys. It's not
Yeah.
getting any bigger.
Those are the kind of things that made it hard, because you never knew who was going to shoot you in the head. Because if the director heard it, of
course,
local
yeah.
guy says that doesn't look like a pig. That doesn't look
Yeah.
like a pig.
I can just hear the greens. Oh, brother, that pig doesn't look good.
That doesn't look good at all. And the dir-
everyone's just
Yeah.
like. It's usually the TAs that'll do that to us. You know, you don't think the
yeah.
greens guys are gonna smoke
No,
you like that.
no, but I guess it makes sense to think about it. I mean, the first time I went to Hawaii, I went on like my first hike, and like halfway through the hike, this like two dogs run up, and this Hawaiian dude just with the t-shirt and shorts has a boar over his shoulder with blood dripping down. I was like,
This doesn't happen at Griffith Park.
I was like, man, I am not. I can't roll with these people. I guess I can't hang.
the thing is they're a sensitive lot. And they'll beat the fuck out of you too.
Totally.
So you have got to treat that situation with kid gloves, because you can't embarrass them, even though they've screwed you. But you need, that's not everybody can pull that off.
No.
It's a slippery slope. I hope, I'm pretty sure that if you ask people, the locals in Hawaii, that they'll remember me well. I mean,
Nice.
I did a good job treating people kindly. I have a funny story about that, though. Not lost, but scaring people. We were doing Castle with a Bigfoot, and we're filming at Griffith Park, and we have a Bigfoot, this guy in a Bigfoot suit. Stan is like, go scare that golfer. So we did. This Bigfoot runs out into the golf course, and this little old Asian lady just freaks the fuck out.
Oh my god,
It was so funny.
good.
Film set life.
Yeah.
God, the good old days of pranking was, now I feel like everyone's a little too uptight.
Yeah,
on the
nobody's
film
gonna
set.
scare you with a
no
Bigfoot
one's
these days.
pranking anything.
So did you get to work with JJ a lot then?
On Lost?
Yeah.
Never saw him.
Really?
Not once. I talked to him on the phone. He called me one time and asked me if I could find him an OG, not replica, on-air sign for his house.
Really?
Yeah, I got a G-job call from him. Other than that, I never spoke to JJ about Lost. Although he hired me right away to do
Super
Super
8?
8 after that.
Yeah, because he just knew you were the guy who was on Lost for so long. and
Have you worked with
looked
JJ?
good.
I have not. No.
Chris did. Chris,
Yeah.
Chris did.
Chris who?
Chris Call.
Chris Call.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people who have worked with him.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris
Which
is
is funny, because I've heard people say he doesn't like props.
Oh.
But that wasn't my experience at all.
That's probably the prop master. It's always that kind of thing where
Maybe.
some attitudes don't work together.
So then moving on to Super 8, then how was it to be able to like actually work with him and everything? Was he like an open director that was kind of approachable and all that?
Yeah, when I first got that job, I seriously, I didn't know him like personally. So when I got called to interview with him, I was really nervous.
Yeah.
And so I went down to Bad Robot, and I'm sitting there expecting some assistant to say, okay, come on up. Fucking JJ walks in, and I didn't even recognize him. He said, Rob, come on up. And I started to, he came and got me himself. We went into his office, and I started to like pitch myself. And he stopped me. He's like, listen, you're
I
already
don't
here.
need any of that.
Yeah.
You're already here. But that show was difficult because they didn't give away scripts. Like if you wanted to read the script, even as a prop master, I had to go to the office and look at the script and then leave.
Jeez.
And it was really tough. And it was a passion project of his. It was kind of like his story. So he was like every detail, like even down to like how he wanted the model, the trains painted, and everything, the camera itself.
Totally.
And every single. If I'm being completely honest, I don't feel like I wowed him.
Oh, really?
No, I don't. I mean, he was so into it, And I had been doing TV for so long that I really wasn't ready for that level of detail.
Yeah.
Like if someone would have told me you can spend $20,000 to have a train painted, I would have done it differently, you know.
Yeah.
But I was still in a TV mindset,
Totally.
trying to get things done fast and trying to be on budget. And if I had it to do over again, I think I'd do a better job. If I'm being honest, yeah. It was nice to work for him, and the people, like my first meeting with him lasted like over an hour. And like even the DP and the production designer, and they were like mad at me. He's like, "How'd you get an hour with JJ? Nobody gets an hour with JJ." I mean, they weren't mad, but that was the vibe.
Yeah.
And even it wasn't a real. You weren't set up to be real successful because I didn't have my own script and I couldn't do my process, and it was just it was
a
different.
good point.
You know, there was just a whole bunch about it. I wish I could have it to do over again because I think I'd do a better job.
That is a good point. Especially like I'm thinking back. I mean, I hear Quentin Tarantino does that same thing with theirs. You have to go to the office to read it.
I wouldn't do it again. I would pass on a movie.
Yeah.
If someone called me and said, "Hey, you can do this picture, but you can't have a script," I'm not the guy. I just
it's
different.
It's tough when I'm like trying to think of the prop because I mean when you want to go back and like detail just even like that paragraph around the prop to like say, okay, is there any like thing that goes into it before and what falls out of this, and to not be able to do that is tough.
I think the movie turned out good, and I'm happy with the props. There was a couple of times where there was this one time we were in we shot that in West Virginia, and it was like the beginning of a big evacuation day. When I mean big, I mean 1,500 National Guard and 1,000 extras putting suitcases on cars and buses filling up people. It's going to be a big day, and tanks and explosions.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the morning of that day that we were going to start that, JJ called me to the set. He's like, "Hey, so when these guys get on the bus, there's going to be a guy here handing out emergency evacuation packets that you're going to leave right now and create." And like, that was the thing. It's like,
Jeez.
all of us another day where I've got a million things happening.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we have this new prop I want you to make for me right now. And I pulled it off. So there were days where I did really good work and I was really happy with that.
Yeah.
He was really happy with that. And I'm probably just remembering the parts that made me feel insecure. But there were a couple days where he saw something and I just don't think he fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And I wish he would have,
Totally.
you know.
And it would have helped if the process, we got to do it normal. You know,
Yeah,
it's different.
yeah. Live and learn.
Yeah,
I learned a
definitely.
lot about the big budget features on that picture.
Totally.
And I don't even know if guys like you or people that do big budget features would call that a big budget feature, because you know.
Super 8 was a big movie.
I would say so.
for sure.
But
Definitely.
you know, I did a good job, but I didn't do a good a job as I feel like I could have done. If
Sure.
I'm being really honest,
You had done mostly TV for years before that, though. So yeah, if your mind was in a different set, it's a completely different.
yeah. I just had no idea just how much money they would let you spend on something if it was
On
important.
a one single prop.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
you're like,
just like,
wait,
it
you can
never-
spend this much on that? Like,
There was this, you know, I with crew, I made my crew work too hard because I probably could ask for 6 more guys and they would
Yeah.
have said yes, and I just didn't know.
yeah.
You know, so there was just things I learned on that, going from good TV to a big feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
When you're trying so hard to help them save money because somebody's so much on you to move to something where they're like, oh, you have the world.
Yeah.
there's just so many things. Like they had we ended up having like 10 days of training for all these National Guard guys.
Oh, wow.
And it looking back on it, like I should have had a separate prop guy,
Oh, wow.
or 2, and a separate truck, and that should have been its own thing. You know,
Totally.
that should those guys are going to go off and do that, and then they're going to take care of the National Guard for the rest. And I just didn't know enough to,
Yeah.
you know, so stuff like that. But I was pretty young. That was whatever. It is
Live
what
and
it is.
learn. Yeah.
I'm learning a lot just hearing you talk about it.
Yeah.
It's all,
You need more
Yeah.
crew.
yeah, more crew.
Just be,
Always ask for it.
not be afraid to ask.
True.
Yeah. I'm usually fighting for more on everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Fighting. Come on, let's do it. Well, and then I mean, what is it after that? You went to Castle, so you kind of went from that and then back into another really long running TV show. Then
Yeah, I loved Castle. Castle was a really good show for us. again, props were really important. The people that made the decisions liked me and were happy to give me free reins. Nathan and Stana. I'm still friends with Stana to this day.
Yeah.
That was a good show. And I think the end of television for me was I was doing The Rookie.
Oh, really?
And I didn't dig it. I was just like, I wasn't really giving it 100%. I know I was kind of phoning it in. And then the thing about it was like, that was when like clearances,
Clearances
and
has
especially for
gotten crazy.
ABC at that time, has gotten to where that was my full-time job. I was doing clearances. And one example that kind of broke the camel's back was I went and got a bunch of coffee mugs from Target.
Yeah.
And one of them had like a gold leaf butterfly.
Yeah.
And the scene was an off-duty cop in her apartment making tea. She does the thing. She makes the tea. And I get called in, and they're like mad at me because I can't give them a clearance certificate for this coffee mug that I bought at Target. I'm like, this is a cop drinking tea. No one's getting hit with this mug. This is a mug doing what mugs do. Isn't there supposed to be?
Yeah.
And I just got so tired of that I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Apple is like hardcore about that stuff. Like a lot of the Apple stuff I had, you have to clear down to the dish that you're using, whether there's like designs on it or not. They're like, well, the shape of the dish could be. It's like, are you freaking
How do you
serious?
work like that?
It's difficult. I literally on the last show that I did for them, that's where a buyer coordinator helps a lot.
Right, because they
I
end up
hand
doing
it off
that
to
all
them.
full
I
time.
just have them do it. Yeah, and it's they literally take absolutely everything I purchase and run it straight through clearance. So as I'm getting it, as they're logging the receipts and all the stuff, it's also going through clearance at the same time.
And 3 days later, when you find out it didn't pass muster, you're back to square one.
Half of it, I mean, you know what? It becomes, sometimes it goes to legal when things aren't clearing because there have been stuff that's so like, it's so instrumental to the script. Like the director has like written in that like it needs to be this, and we still haven't gotten it cleared by like after months of trying to get it cleared. By the time we get to shoot day, and we're just like, well, just shoot it. If not, like, because we have to ask the lawyer. And I love it the lawyer because they either will give a or low risk or not that much risk or extremely riskful. So it's like
I just want a yes or a no.
No, it's never a yes or a
give
no.
No one will give you
It's
yes or no
never a
because then
yes or
they're
no.
responsible for the outcome.
Right.
Yeah.
So like they won't even give you official yet. They're just like low risk. Is like, well, it's in the script, so we have to do it. And then like I'm not making the director mad. Like at this point, you know. And I usually at that point, if it gets like too like dicey, I just all I could do is let the line producer and UPM know. Be like, it's out of my hands. I'll let you guys know we're shooting it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I mean, okay.
I haven't had the last few things I've done have been with Netflix and Amazon, and I'm happy with their approach.
Netflix is pretty good. Yeah,
seems to be like if you're using it as it's intended.
As intended. That's my
And
favorite word.
that's the old school. I mean, that's what it used to be. You
Yeah.
used to be able to film in a grocery store.
Yeah, not turning all the labels.
Not turning all the labels
there.
because that's what it is.
As intended.
And I think that there's still, like I said, Amazon. I did Mr. Mercedes a few years back, and came up with so and so. Even a bad guy was drinking a Coke, and they're like, "He's drinking a Coke. Jack wants a Coke, give him a Coke."
Yeah.
That's what. And it's just like, I mean, if I'm not going to beat you over the head with it, or not using it to hurt somebody, then
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, that was like on one battle. Benicio just wants the beers out of nowhere, and we're sitting there like, "Oh man, you're drinking and driving." There's just that idea.
It's the
that,
one no alcohol company
that
will go for this.
but all of us, and I have to go to the UPMs like, "Hey guys, he wants to drink the beers, blah blah blah. We're gonna," and they're literally getting into a car after that and going on this drive, and it's like, I just have to tell you guys that this is what they want to do, and because it's Paul and Warner Brothers, they're just like, "Oh, it's all good. Let it ride," and that's that moment where
if the right person wants it, it seems
Yeah.
to be all of a sudden it's no problem.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, cool. We can show two of Hollywood's biggest actors drinking and driving. Let's do it.
Well, yeah, if the right person wants it, they'll pay the legal fees if it comes up.
Well, I'm
It's
sure
crazy.
Modelo's just like, "Yep,
Oh,
we'll take
yeah,
it."
yeah. I
you
mean,
know?
well, now, yeah, of course.
And
Like,
in the back
whatever.
of your mind, it's like it's like no one is ever gonna sue anybody about this. They're gonna watch the movie and enjoy it.
They're going
and-
to be excited that their beers are being drunk.
for 90% of it. It's crazy because while going through that and having to clear it, because the last movie I did, or the show I did for Apple, we had to do so many books, and they're all like real books, and they're like basketball like how-to books and stuff like that, stuff that is pretty general. It doesn't really matter. So I made some ND one too, but we were just like, oh, send them through clearance. And like the most no-name book ever was just like some guy was like, I would like $500 for it. It was like an independent publisher. Like, well, you just won't have your book on this big movie then. How about this? There goes your free advertising.
Yeah. Everyone wants to get paid.
Everybody wants to get paid.
Right.
Yeah. So you did TV for a while, and then did you say that you plan on being done with TV? You don't want to do TV again? Or?
No. Truthfully, I want to work on stuff that I enjoy with the people that I enjoy working with. You know, it's like I'll do. God, my phone hasn't rang in a while, so truth be told, I would do whatever anybody calls. But I would prefer to do. Like the 10-episode Netflix or Amazon thing where there's a pretty good budget and it's only going to be for about 6 months. And, you know, I enjoy that. Yeah. That seems to be my sweet spot. I would, you know, a feature would be great.
Right.
Anything like that because, you know, nowadays I don't really want, I don't know, whatever. I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, something like Hunters.
Hunters was fantastic.
I loved the show. So
they took me to Prague. I got to
you got to go to Prague?
Me and my assistant.
No way.
Yeah, we were
for
there.
How long?
Prague, and I went to Hallstatt, Germany, or Austria, where they shot The Sound of Music.
No.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was my first time with Pacino. Now I've done 2 with him.
Nice.
Wow.
But yeah, that's my sweet spot right there.
Yeah.
Give me a 10-episode.
Yeah.
With a little bit of travel.
And David Wheel was the executive producer of that. And boy, oh boy, he wanted everything. If you go back and look at Hunters 2, it's some of my best work graphic-wise. And the graphics are just amazing because like we started that and I started showing him stuff and he's like, no. He's like, let's get a historian. Going back to when the first one, I had an historian researcher just for me.
Sweet.
Oh my God! And she pulled out.
Were you the person that found that, or did production find that for you?
She was
what happens
recommended
when
to
you
me
need that?
by the production designer who had used her on another movie. Yeah, and I have her name and number. I'll give it to you off camera if you want it. But she was amazing. So if you go and look at the document,
specifically in like World War II,
all of the Nazi Germany stuff, all of this, the Holocaust survivor stuff, because David was using real names of real people, and like that story holds water. Nice. And so there was facts to be found and documents to be found. So I'm really proud of the work we did on that. There was some really good really good stuff.
Nice.
And Al took all of my props.
Oh, is he one of the actors that has it in their contract? Like needs to take everything.
I have no idea. Probably not. It doesn't. It wouldn't matter if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because no one's saying
Al
shit to
Pacino.
Al.
Yeah.
But it was so cool too. Because the first time I met him, I was showing him all of his rings and necklaces options, and I won't remember the word, so this story is not going to be great. But the horn that most Jewish people wear, a lot of people Jewish wear. Well, there's other options that are really beautiful and older, and I found this thing that's really old. And again, I wish I would have remembered the name. But Robbie, what's that? And I was like, well, this is a so-and-so. I was like, it's not that, but the people that know will know. He's like, that's it. That's the one I want. Yep. And he took it. He took the gold chain and the thing and his rings. Like he loved the stuff that I got him so much. And then when I worked with him just recently on that other movie, Easy's Waltz in Vegas, he kind of remembered me at first and then really remembered me and absolutely loved me. Like he was did some crazy shit for me and for like I don't know how to say this without making. I was in a room with him. I was just about to give him his props, and he started asking me about what was happening in this scene. I'm like, well, this guy's been counterfeiting these things, and now your team has found out. And he's like, oh, how would I know? So I kind of got into it, and I was explaining. And like during the middle of it, the costume department and somebody else over here, two of his assistants were having a conversation, and he's like, hold on, ladies, get the fuck out of here. Robbie and I are talking. And it was like, oh my God. Yeah. So that was cool. I love those.
I was just saying this the other day where a lot of the times we end up being directors for the actors in really weird moments, you know, and there's those fine times where the actors will ask you things because you've spent so long focusing on that one single prop that you can give a 10-minute backstory that all of a sudden the actors now have motivation. They know what they're doing in that sense, where the directors are even looking at you like, oh yeah, he is speaking the right stuff. Okay, cool. You know,
because and you can see the light in the actor's eye. Once they believe it,
yeah,
they can stop worrying about that. If you go back and look on Mr. Mercedes in season 3, there was a scene where we're gonna take this guy's brain, part of his brain out, and we're gonna put it back together. And from start to finish, Jack Bender didn't want anything to do. He said, "Rob, take care of it." And now Jack gives me ton of room to me. But I ended up directing that scene.
Yeah.
With the medical technical advisors, the actors, all the bits and pieces of the brain and these things and the screws and stuff. I was running back and forth between, and Jack literally said to me, "Rob, just make it happen. Just finish this off."
No, it's cool.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when I really want to be.
Definitely.
You know.
I love that side of it. When
I
we
do
get
too.
to be just so in it with the actors. That's how it was.
It's like it's like when you get that level of confidence with something because you have been spending that much
Yeah.
time with it.
That's how it was for me with the DNA kit scene on
Yeah.
one battle. Paul was directing the scene, but Sean Penn was just not doing it right. And he's like, "You better go talk to him. We got to move on in 2 takes. If he doesn't get this right, we're going to be doing this in inserts in 2 months." Hey, Sean, all right, so you're missing like 4 steps. Paul's going to move on if you do not get this moving. He's like, he looks over at Paul. He looks at me and he's like, "I got you." Yeah, he didn't do it right. He didn't do it right. And we went to insert, 2 months later, and he did it perfect then, It's those things where we just get to help the directors direct
And
if we know what we're doing.
And the neat thing about it for me anyway is on that, like on days like that, at the end of the day, when I remember that brain surgery scene. Even my assistant, I had Steve Garino with me. He said to me, he's like, "Rob, I've never been more impressed with you in my entire life." At the end of the day, to have an old prop assistant, like, can you imagine Butch Kitchen saying to you, "Oh my God, dude, you just fucking rock that."
That's when
it's weird. It just means something.
Yes.
But to have everybody, the actors, the director, the AD, like, "Thank you so much. We would have never gotten through that without you." I live for those moments.
Totally. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you're asked those right questions too, because not every director or actor I feel like is going to do it. They're just going to be like, "Give me my stuff and move on." But if like you've put so much time and heart into working on your prop, and then they like, it's kind of will make you glow if like they ask, "Well, here, let's like all go aside for 20 minutes and like really sit down and get into this." Like,
yeah, definitely. That's some of the best parts of what we do.
I know. It doesn't always happen, but I do love it when it does.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's super cool, and I think that's kind of the reason to do it.
Yeah, I do too. Man, good transition to start to close out. Do you have anything else that you want to say before? Man,
I have one question.
Oh yeah,
too. It's pretty, very broad. So, what is your favorite prop you've ever made? I know it's
the toughest question.
It's like asking what's your 5 favorite movies. Like what's a prop that you just loved? You just explained the whole head surgery scene with that, obviously. But is there one prop that you will remember
that's in your trophy case?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, some of the props that I've talked about, like being able to make those really weird jungle dolls on a day that people just absolutely love. Or the ship in the bottle that needed to be made in a couple of days that just didn't exist. Yep. If I thought about it, I'm sure that, but I haven't kept any of my shit. I used to keep a lot of stuff.
You don't keep any props? You didn't keep any props? No?
I used to have, when I was young.
If I were you, I would have a Dharma Initiative shrine.
Okay, I'll tell you what. 2 things. Going back, I used to, when I was young, have everything. Signed. I had autographed. I was a gift. Eddie Van Halen brought me and Melanie to a show one night, and I traded my shoes for his. So I had a pair of his Eddie Van Halen's shoes. The cons that were painted like his. I had them autographed. Sick. And I had shoes from Shaq, and I had a boxing glove from Mike Tyson, and I had this whole wall of shit that was all autographed, and I gave it all away to charity.
Whoa!
I did. I put it all in a box and I gave it to a DP that was doing a children's hospital charity thing.
Wow!
And I never felt better.
Beautiful.
And so after that, I just didn't. If you walk into my house, except for the basement, like where my man cave is, you wouldn't know I was in the film business.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
But I have The Last Night of Lost, I grabbed a Dharma wine bottle,
Yeah.
and I had every single actor that was in the church sign it.
Oh, cool.
I have that. The very first day, the very first time we found Dharma beer, there was a scene with Hurley and Sawyer drinking beer at the bus. I had them sign that can, and I have that. And I have one of the OG Virgin Mary statues.
Yeah. The heroin statues.
Other than that, I can't. I'm sure I have other props.
Yeah.
I like to have actors that I like sign their chairbacks.
Oh,
so
cool.
I have a couple
cool.
of cool chairbacks from Pacino and Stephen King.
Oh,
and
nice.
A couple of the actors from Lost.
Oh, that's so cool.
But for the most part, I don't.
Yeah.
My favorite props are the ones that I made myself. That
Yeah,
I really had
yeah,
to scramble
same.
and
100%.
last minute fixes. You know
Yeah.
how to.
An age notebook that the director wanted on the, you're sitting there just
You're a prop master, right?
Of course.
Okay,
yeah.
so you know, like when somebody says, "Hey, I need a Torah," and you fucking walk onto your truck, and you know for sure that you don't have a Torah on your truck, but you go up into your book bin and you pull it down, and a Torah appears. Yeah. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it when the prop gods
They
hook
rain
me up.
down on
and
us.
It's not. It happens.
Yeah.
Where you don't think you have something, and you pull it. It's like it's right there.
I know.
Yeah, totally.
So the last show, I need a book from 1840s. I need a book from the 1840s. I was like, there's no fucking way I had it. First book I find, I open 1841. I was like, no way.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Wow.
That happened to me.
Run this in.
Yes.
on Hunter's fucking Pacino asked me for a Torah, and it made me feel like such a fucking terrible prop master because there was never the word Torah in the script, but God, I should have thought of that.
Yeah,
Why the fuck
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
I have a couple of Torahs on the truck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And I didn't, but I did.
Yeah, it's
And it's like,
Fair.
thank God, because I don't, it's like, so those are my favorite props.
Definitely.
When
I get that.
you look good on a, oh, I see you got a bunch of little.
Yeah, I like to collect the good ones,
nice.
fun ones. But yeah, this has been awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I
I was
really
worried I
appreciate
didn't have
it.
anything to say.
No, yeah, I told you. Once you get rolling, you can really run for an hour and a half pretty easily.
Yeah.
That's how it works
Nice.
here. But yeah, I really appreciate you telling all your stories, and got to do it again sometime. But
Right on.
yeah, Robbie, thanks for sitting in again.
Thank you. Thank you for
Nice to
Rob.
see you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
awesome.
for
Yeah,
having me.
brother. Awesome. So, I have a little spiel. Okay. Thank you to everybody else out there for tuning into another episode of Prop Talk, the official podcast of the Property Masters Guild, brought to you by real working and retired prop masters. If this is your first time listening, please make sure to like and subscribe and comment wherever you're hearing it. If you want to know more information on the Property Masters Guild or have any questions for us here at Prop Talk, be sure to go to propertymastersguild.org. We're also on Instagram @_the PMG and all other socials. And that is it until next time.